It's like swallowing perfume. What is that?
Prime didn't start as a drink. It started as a plot twist. For years, Logan Paul and KSI were professional enemies. Diss tracks, fake beef, real punches. Their boxing matches pulled millions of viewers, sold out arenas, and turned YouTube drama into pay-per-view gold. Kids picked sides like it was Marvel Civil War, but with worse haircuts. Then, in 2022, the internet glitched. The enemies shook hands and announced a drink together. That alone was the product. But here's the real question. Was Prime actually a great drink, or just great internet? Did hype replace substance? And how did a product with everything going for it start slipping so fast? Prime wasn't selling hydration, they were selling drama. A storyline millions had emotionally invested in for years. When Prime launched, fans didn't ask what was inside the bottle, they already knew what it meant. Buying Prime was how you picked a side without throwing punches. Within a year, Prime hit around $250 million in retail sales. By 2023, it was flirting with $1.2 billion in annual revenue. For a beverage brand with no legacy, no lab credibility, and no athlete trust, that's insane. It looked like the future of consumer brands, until it didn't. Prime didn't explode because it was good. It exploded because it was scarce. Stores ran out instantly. Kids sprinted through supermarkets. Bottles flipped for 5 times, then 10 times retail. UK shops slapped 1 bottle limits like it was wartime sugar. Prime stopped being a drink and became a flex. You didn't drink it, you posted it. Some kids didn't even bother opening the bottle. Empty Prime bottles were refilled with tap water just to keep the illusion alive. That tells you everything. The liquid didn't matter, the label did. This was identity marketing at its peak. Loud colors, YouTuber faces front and center, packaging that looked more like a gaming skin than a sports drink. Prime wasn't built for athletes. It was built for Instagram stories and school corridors. And for a moment, it worked perfectly. Artificial scarcity created real chaos. But chaos has a shelf life. Once supply caught up, the illusion cracked. Because eventually, people stop flexing and start tasting. Here's where Prime quietly broke its own neck. It never picked a lane. Prime hydration looked like a sports drink, but didn't behave like one. Sports drinks replace what you lose when you sweat. Sodium, carbs, functional electrolytes. Prime barely had sodium, almost no sugar, and way more potassium than most athletes actually need. Doctors raised eyebrows. Coaches warned players. Trainers flat out said, "Don't use this." Some athletes reported feeling worse after drinking it. That's kind of a problem when performance is the promise. Then Prime Energy launched, and chaos upgraded to panic. Each can packed 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's roughly 2 Red Bulls. Kids were chugging it like juice. Schools banned it. Parents freaked out. News channels ran segments treating it like a public health scare. So now Prime was stuck. Too intense for kids, not trusted by athletes, confusing for adults. It tried to be a hydration drink, a sports drink, an energy drink, and a lifestyle brand all at once, which usually means it was none of them. Hype hid this confusion early. Once the noise died down, the confusion was all that remained. The collapse didn't come with a bang, it came with spreadsheets. UK revenue dropped around 70% year over year. Profits fell more than 90%. Warehouses filled up. Shelves went from empty to "please take one." Then the supplier drama surfaced. Prime owed roughly $68 million to Refresco, one of its bottling partners. That's not a rounding error, that's a cash flow fire. Lawsuits piled up. PFAS claims, labeling questions, caffeine disclosure complaints. Regulatory attention followed. And in consumer goods, the moment safety becomes a question, hype evaporates instantly. Prime was built like an influencer drop. Big spike, fast fade. But unlike merch, beverages burn cash fast. Production, logistics, retail commitments. This isn't a hoodie you print on demand. Once sales slowed, the entire structure started wobbling. The hype had outrun the business underneath it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Prime didn't fail because kids moved on. Kids always move on. Prime failed because it never built anything for the people who don't. Adults don't care about YouTube beef. Athletes don't trust vibes. Teens move on as the buzz fizzles. And Gen Z itself shifted toward calmer, cleaner, more functional brands like Celsius, Liquid IV, Alani Nu. Prime stayed frozen in a moment where neon bottles and internet drama mattered. It also broke a basic rule of branding. If you can't be first, create a new category. Red Bull didn't fight Coke, it invented energy drinks. Prime tried to fight Gatorade on Gatorade's turf without owning performance, science, or trust. Hype can build awareness. It cannot replace positioning. Prime wasn't a scam. It was something more dangerous. A brand that mistook noise for foundation, momentum for strategy, attention for loyalty. For a brief moment, Prime looked unstoppable. Then the loyal fans disappeared. The resellers vanished, and the product had to stand on its own. It couldn't. Prime didn't collapse overnight. It aged like trends do, suddenly, quietly, and without mercy. And that's the lesson. You can out-hype almost anyone. You can't out-hype fundamentals.